This judge is going to blow your mind, chosen ones with a revelation so potent that it will destroy the illusion of reality that has been built around you. Testimonies have been gathered and documents have been discovered. The carefully prepared facts about your behavior and character contrast sharply with the falsehoods that have been disseminated. The mother figure who planned this campaign against you is now having to deal with the fallout from her deeds. It has all come to light: her unfounded charges, her attempts to harm your name, and her attempts to incite people against you. The community is in a frenzy, utterly incensed that they were duped into accepting these lies about you. Let's discuss this mother figure, this mind-controlling, perception-poisoning entity. A countenance contorted with envy has been hidden under her mask of parental care. She has seen your light shine brighter while hers has waned, and instead of igniting her own fire, she has tried to put out yours. Her falsehoods against you were deliberate, purposeful, and malevolent. They weren't unintentional or casual. She observed how you moved, determined your strong points, and created narratives that were intended to minimize the very attributes that set you apart. She has portrayed herself as the victim and you as the antagonist in a story that she wrote, directed, and starred in for far too long. Every lie, every time she misrepresented you, every time she sowed doubt about your character, every time she grinned in your face while piercing your reputation when you looked away. All of these instances have been meticulously documented by the universe. A debt that is past due is shown in the cosmic ledger. Why? Pure jealousy. She saw your spiritual talents, your innate wealth, and your capacity to uplift and change. And instead of appreciating these attributes, she craved them. She tried to take your reputation because she couldn't steal your essence. While she was still bound to lesser energies, she couldn't bear to see you ascend. Her tactics, however, are now publicly visible. The spiritual traces she left behind in her machinations are blazing with proof of her guilt. Although she believed herself to be intelligent, her schemes seemed naive and obvious in comparison to cosmic wisdom. She didn't realize that what darkness attempts to conceal is always exposed by light. In order to drain what she was unable to produce on her own, this mother figure has been living off your energy like a parasite, feeding off the doubt she generated, sustaining herself with the uncertainty she propagated about you, and forming energetic connections and soul links. But parasites cannot live when cut off from their host, and the separation is occurring now. The most sad component of her campaign? She still believes she can remedy the issue, still thinks she can talk her way out of the repercussions barreling at her, still imagines her hollow words carry power over others who've woken to her lies. Her desperation builds as her authority wanes, making her more threatening but ultimately more defeated with each passing day. Your vindication is now being sung by the same community that previously spread her falsehoods. The scales drop out of their eyes one by one. The mist of deceit clears. For the first time in a long time, they are seeing clearly, and what they see makes them angry. Not at you, but at her. These individuals, friends, relatives, co-workers, and acquaintances who previously viewed you with distrust are now furiously outraged at how completely they were duped. Their present rage is fueled by the guilt of their involvement in your character assassination. They are actively turning against the mother figure rather than just avoiding her. Each individual experiences the awakening in a unique way. Some people experience a sudden jolt, a flash of insight when all the contradictions in her claims come together to show the reality. Others have a slow awakening, with suspicions escalating until denial is unsustainable. However, the disclosure evokes a combination of disgust at their collusion and resolve to put things right for everyone. Her most outspoken accusers are now former pals. Her water is now thrown in her face by others who used to carry it. Her deceit is being shouted from the roofs by those who magnified her whispers. Her false oneness breaks into 1,000 fragments, each of which reflects her actual self back at her. Observe how they approach you with remorse in their eyes and an apology on their lips. Some will come straight out and humble themselves by admitting their error. Instead of using words, some will use actions to show their altered viewpoint. Everyone is going through the hard process of growing up after acknowledging that they were tricked into hurting others. While others accepted her manufactured reality, the mother figure's strength came from her capacity to separate, isolate, and cause you to question your own viewpoint. Now, however, that same community joins together in acknowledging the reality. As individuals get back in touch with their own intuition, the same intuition that probably shouted warnings about her that they chose to ignore, the split she caused heals itself. There is a significant energy shift brought about by this group awakening. The thoughts that are aimed at you change into shields that surround you. Your honesty is now confirmed by the voices that formerly doubted it. The community is now actively involved in seeing justice done, rather than just being impartial. They are now participants in your vindication, rather than just an audience. Unseen powers have been putting up the strongest defense possible for your vindication, while you have remained steadfast in your truth. Instead of conducting a haphazard investigation, the authorities are meticulously demolishing each false charge, fabrication, and frame operation. They're keeping an eye on communications. Evidence that further solidifies these conspirators' destiny may be found in every text, phone conversation, and message they exchange. The cosmos makes sure that darkness always finally shouts its admissions into listening ears, even if they thought their remarks were secret. The thunder's loudness will expose what they spoke about in whispers. Evidence of the deliberate nature of this campaign against you, the planning, the coordination, the malevolent purpose behind every move, is being collected. These are more than simply documents. They are the tangible representation of cosmic justice in 3 dimensions. This revelation's time was predetermined by God. Some important actors may have avoided the consequences if it had happened sooner. If it had happened later, you could have suffered needlessly. In order to ensure maximum effect when the truth erupts into public knowledge, the cosmic clockwork rotates with flawless accuracy. Throughout this struggle, your spiritual team, those guardians and guides, has been affecting events in ways that are incomprehensible to humans. They have nudged people in positions of power with their intuition. They made sure that important evidence wasn't lost. They have shielded important witnesses from threats or worse. Their unseen hands have been relentlessly steering this process in the direction of justice. Normally, glacial-paced legal proceedings have inexplicably quickened. Justice would normally be delayed by bureaucratic roadblocks, but for some reason they have vanished. Individuals who would typically keep quiet have been forced to reveal the truth. Forces that understand how vital it is to put this right have removed obstacles from your way of vindication. Even if your justice is crucial, this isn't just about you. A line in the cosmic sand stating that such manipulations will no longer be accepted in this new energy is marked by this case, which marks a turning point and a precedent. The wider goal of your personal vindication is to change the way that truth and deceit are weighed in this changing society. The Obsidian Inner Order is the top ascension nexus for chosen ones, in case you were unaware. You do now, however. You may not be aware of this, but being a member of the Inner Order grants you access to weekly group calls with more than 450 other selected individuals. We also record them so you may watch them whenever you want. Not only is our secret Discord active, but it also has a wealth of the most intriguing discussions on the planet. We're discussing in-depth discussions on spiritual practices, targeted people, occult knowledge, diet optimization, and anything else you need to perfect your ascension. Here, those who have been selected get together to share knowledge, support one another, and access insights that aren't available on YouTube or anywhere else. Explore Contemporary Manifestation Mechanisms, our unique grimoire, which has 3 chapters accessible to members if you're interested. Discover how to utilize magical energies to advance your objectives. Learn basic spellcraft for physical manifestation and transform your house into a prosperity magnet. Additionally, you will get access to video specials and interviews with actual targeted people, which are so daring that the YouTube stars don't even want you to see them. This is a movement, not just a membership. What are you waiting for then? Give up looking. Begin climbing. The description of the Obsidian Inner Order contains the link. It's so simple that anybody can do it. Observe the increasing despair as the walls close in. As she watches her house of cards tremble, the mother figure tries more desperately to keep everything under control. As her strength wanes, her voice becomes louder. As her capacity to carry out her threats diminishes, they grow more severe. As her reputation erodes, her promises become more grandiose. She argues, "I can fix this," despite the fact that she has no control over the cosmic mechanism of justice. She begs, "Just give me time," but her plans have run out of time. "Trust me," she insists, despite the fact that trust is the same money she lost so long ago. Her words reverberate like empty, substanceless vessels. In an effort to find new players for her dying game, she is reaching out to you in the hopes of creating new relationships, soul links, and energy cords that will allow her to continue draining your life force. The failure of these initiatives will be stunning. Such tactics are now easily repelled by the spiritual shield around you. She is using her darkest tools to try to obtain your personal information. Share your data to anyone she believes might cause trouble, and try to generate turmoil in your outward world because she can no longer influence your interior one. These actions only serve to strengthen the case against her and move her closer to the repercussions that lie ahead. She becomes more and more caught up in her own web the more she resists. Every effort to recover control only serves to highlight how totally out of control she has become. Now every lie she speaks runs counter to 3 earlier ones. Now everyone she attempts to control starts to doubt her intentions. She has become sloppy as a result of her desperation, and everyone can see how desperate she is. Every day, the number of those who remain faithful to her declines. The few that are left have their own motivations for keeping up the masquerade, usually because they are afraid of being revealed alongside her for their own involvement in her scams. Even so, they can feel the earth moving underneath. They even realize that this ship isn't just sinking, but exploding in a spectacular way. Her last, most pitiful tactic is to play the victim, try to change the role of the archer to the target, accuse others of persecuting her when she faces repercussions, and complain about injustice when justice is eventually served. This obvious effort to avoid accountability will be seen for what it is: the desperate attempt of someone who never expected to be held responsible. The vindication you are about to get goes beyond standard justice. This is a cosmic coronation, an acceptance of who you have always been, not merely a clearing of your name. The cosmos screams your vindication across dimensions, not merely whispering it. Even when muck is flung at your light, all of the complicated legal issues will be resolved with remarkable clarity. The truth does not just surface. It takes control. It overwhelms all of the fabrications. It puts an end to all unfounded accusations. The proof not only implies your innocence, but asserts it so forcefully that even those who formerly doubted you end up supporting you with the greatest conviction. The cosmos has taken notice of your perseverance throughout this hardship. It has not gone unnoticed how dignified you have been during the onslaught. Your self-control, when the want to retaliate would have been strong, has been noted in the cosmic ledger. These attributes have not only enabled you to persevere, but they have also actively played a part in the all-encompassing character of the justice that is now being served. The next ruling will establish a precedent. Future circumstances will make reference to it. It will serve as a benchmark for future handling of instances of a similar kind. Your own story serves as a model for achieving justice for everybody. Others who are subjected to similar misinformation efforts will benefit from the ripple effects of your personal vindication. This vindication comes with financial restoration. Interest will be charged on the returned resources. Greater opportunities will take the place of those that are lost. In order for justice to appear in both material and intangible forms, the material world must be in harmony with the spiritual truth that is being exposed. These falsehoods will miraculously mend the relationships they have harmed. Broken connections will be re-established with more vigor. Those who disengaged will come back with fresh insights. The deliberate seclusion that is built around you becomes a more genuine support system than anything you have ever encountered. As a result, your reputation is not only unharmed, but even strengthened. Those who see your handling of this hardship identify traits that are admirable. Your critics unintentionally provided the ideal setting for your genuine self to shine with unquestionable brightness. What was intended to devalue you has instead brought attention to how extraordinary you are. Behind closed doors, justice is moving toward you, but the conspirators are in disarray. What seemed to be a single front breaks apart into personal self-preservation concerns. When confronted with repercussions, the lie-based partnership disbands. The accusation has started. They assert, "It was her idea." The blame moves from one person to another like a hot coal that no one wants to grasp. "I was just following along. I didn't know the full extent." For little reason, their unified front breaks down into separate scrambles. Panic is destroying documents, deleting correspondence hastily, and feverishly hiding evidence. However, nothing really goes away in this digital era. These last-ditch efforts to hide their crimes simply make them more aware of their guilt. With growing worry, the mother figure observes her support structure disintegrating. When she most needs them, the people she relied on to be faithful disappear. Her own experience, karmic justice in its most poetic form, is the manifestation of the seclusion she tried to create for you. The financial resources they believed would shield them from the reality turn out to be inadequate. When confronted with overwhelming evidence, legal defenses fall apart. They are completely shocked that consequences have finally come, and the advantages they have taken for granted disappear just when they want to use them the most. The entitlement they display in their reaction to justice simply serves to highlight how important it is. Now that these barriers are gone, your future shines with never-before-seen clarity. Your development is now powered by the energy that was previously used for defense. The emphasis that was formerly on fending off attackers is now entirely on your holy mission. The vindication propels you toward the future rather than only clearing the past. The energy frequencies required for your next level are carried by new relationships that come. These are not chance meetings. Rather, they are divine appointments, souls chosen especially to be with you throughout this stage of your journey. They see your brilliance and don't know why. They don't need a long explanation to grasp your idea. They understand your mission without having to be convinced. Opportunities that were previously obstructed by imperceptible obstacles now arise quickly. Doors that seem to be closed all the time effortlessly open. With each stride forward, momentum builds as the obstacle that made progress seem like wading through concrete dissipates. You're moving in perfect accord as synchronicity increases. Your special talents, the same attributes that made others so envious, are finally given the credit they deserve. What was formerly viewed with suspicion or contempt now inspires respect and recognition. The same qualities of yourself that you were under pressure to minimize are now acknowledged as your greatest assets. Wealth flows as energy alignment, rather than as restitution. Resources come in appreciation of your vibrational position, rather than as a reward. Your higher frequency causes the material world to react, reflecting your inner condition in concrete ways. You now naturally attract what you used to have to work for. Your intuitive skills, which may have been tested during this time of uncertainty, are now operating with remarkable clarity. The static that was interfering with your inner wisdom goes away entirely. Unprecedented accuracy in message delivery is achieved. Advice is given with a high degree of detail. Your link to greater knowledge becomes stronger than it was before. Most importantly, your confidence becomes unshakable, knowing. Not pride, but genuine self-awareness. Not arrogance, but assurance. You go about the world with such a clear purpose that recognition comes naturally to you, rather than asking for it. What words could not express before, your presence does.